Hello everyone, welcome once again to another edition of TV Sports Week in Review. Mike Neville along with Tucker Warner. And we are winding down the winter season, believe it or not, and that includes high school wrestling, Tucker. And of course the Conference 15 Wrestling Conference Tournament was held on Wednesday night. And we've always talked about Mountain View, Colonial Forge, some very good wrestling programs. Well, Mountain View picks up the Conference 15 championship with a total of 231.5 points, beating out to Brook Point, as Brook Point finished in second. Potomac was third, Massaponax fourth, and it was North Stafford finishing fifth and Freedom sixth. Both Mountain View and Brook Point with 5 individual champions apiece, so a good showing by both of those programs from Stafford County.
Yeah, and we've talked all year about how good these Stafford wrestling programs have been, and no surprise really to see Mountain View come away with the conference championship.
Yep, and those 5 champions for Mountain View on Wednesday night were Junior Beltran taking home the 126-pound weight class, Jonathan Watson winning at 138, also Trevor Watkins at 145, Justin Ferris winning at 152, and Zareel Yai winning at 182. Brook Point also had 5 champions, as we mentioned. Their champions were Joseph Knight at 113, Cody Dutel at 132, Josh Dutel at 160, Shane Ice at 170, and freshman Russ Pierce winning at 220. And North Stafford also had a pair of individual champions as well on Wednesday night. Emmanuel Alfaro winning at 120, and Jaman Myers winning at 195 for North Stafford. Up next, it's the 5A Region Wrestling Championships. Those will begin next Friday at Orange High School. And, you know, Tucker, based on what we've seen, you got to like the chances of Mountain View, even Brook Point. You got to like their chances of winning that championship.
Oh, definitely. And this is just a strong area for wrestling, I think. You know, of the many sports that the Fredericksburg area excels at, wrestling's one of the ones at the top of that list. And further out you go into the region, you see how much they can really, you know, kind of bang up on each other here, and even then a couple teams come out dominant. So why wouldn't you see them repeat the same success in the regional?
And in years past, it used to be really the football players were the ones that would go and wrestle, but now you have guys that are wrestling, kind of like most sports now, where a lot of guys concentrate on just one sport, and that's what you're seeing with a lot of these wrestlers. Instead of going out for 2 or 3 sports, they concentrate on their one specialty, which in this case is wrestling. And of course, we also have a number of youth groups that have started up wrestling programs for the youngsters to get involved, and that's where it really begins. Your grassroots right there at the young, the 8, 9, 10-year-olds getting involved and learning wrestling, and as they get more into the middle school and high school areas, that's where the success comes.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've talked about this on a previous show also, and you get these programs, these start off as a young kid, you got it already in baseball, soccer, football, ice hockey, basketball, whatever sport you want to play. Why not wrestling? Everyone wants to talk about, like, all right, well, maybe this shouldn't be, maybe it's too violent for the kids. I don't see it that way. I don't see it as a particularly violent sport where you're going to severely, wreck your body early on. And perhaps some other contact sports that is the same way, but for wrestling, I don't see it, and I think it's good that these kids are getting a head start on high school wrestling.
Yeah, and the other thing is these officials, these referees in the wrestling, they do a great job. If it's a compromised position where you might see an arm break, or they really are quick to blow the whistle and get it, so it doesn't get to that point where you have a very serious injury. They do a really good job of watching out for that, these referees on the wrestling side. Well, also Wednesday was a big day for area high school seniors, because that was the National Signing Day, and a number of area athletes have committed to where they're going to be going to college. I guess the biggest name would be Gary Jennings from Colonial Forge High School. Of course, he was pretty much do everything for Colonial Forge, offensively and defensively. Had 4 choices. They came down between Virginia and West Virginia, and I actually thought he was going to go with the Cavaliers, but he's going to become a Mountaineer. He's going up to West Virginia, and apparently he's going to be a wide receiver in their system. And if you've watched West Virginia, very potent offense, that spread offense, and still sounds like this is going to be a pretty good fit for Gary.
Well, yeah, and if you're going to play wide receiver at a collegiate level, it's got to be hard to pass up Big 12 football if you've got that option. They run and gun. They throw the ball all over the field. You see routinely, guys throw for 400 yards in
Right.
the Big 12, and that might not even be on the best teams.
Exactly.
So, as coming in as a wide receiver, I believe Mr. Jennings probably has professional aspirations.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got
Why
the
not?
size. I think he's like listed as like 6'2", 210. And so that's pretty good size. Some of the things he did last season for Coach Bill Brown at Colonial Forge, he played quarterback and he threw for 810 yards and 9 touchdowns. Pretty good, not bad. And he also played wide receiver. He hauled in 15 passes for 264 yards and also 3 scores. Not bad. And not to be outdone, he also was a running back. He rushed for 620 yards and 14 touchdowns. So obviously, as we mentioned, pretty versatile. And they like, and college coaches, I think you saw that they really like that versatility of offensive players because you have a wide receiver, but a lot of times now they use that wide receiver screen or the jet sweep. So to have that kind of versatility is huge.
Yeah, and more than just that, let's say that he gets onto campus at Morgantown. Let's say that they don't like him at wide receiver anymore. They can try him at a couple different positions without burning that scholarship on a clearly talented player.
Right.
He's not going to be this lost cause. In case something wrong happens. They could try him at defense. They could try him at running back because of his size, his versatility, his experience.
Exactly.
I think he's going to offer a lot to the West Virginia program.
Without a doubt. Now his teammate Javon Frazier also is committed to Liberty University in Lynchburg. He's going to play defensive end for the Flames. And North Stafford also had senior Jalen Surratt. He has made his commitment for Division II Charleston, West Virginia University. Another area player, Malik White, a senior at Fredericksburg Christian School. He is signed on with Division II Fairmont University in West Virginia. Of course, he helped Tim Coleman's Fredericksburg Christian School Eagles win the Division III state championship, the VISAA Division III state championship. So it's not just Division I. A lot of times these student athletes, if they can't go to Division I, they say, well, I'm not really going to go anywhere else. But Division II, Division III programs, that's some pretty good football as well.
Oh yeah, and you see the amount of players that are in the NFL now that come from D2 or D3 programs. Right. It doesn't mean the end of the road. It means you're still playing some quality football no matter what level you're at. Even if it's one of the weaker conferences, no prestige, you're still going to be able to get at least some good competition in.
Exactly right. All right, we're going to step aside on this edition of CVTV Sports Week in Review. When we come back, we're going to tell you about some other student athletes that are heading to college. They made their commitments. We're going to talk about some of the field hockey players that are going on to play in college as well. And we're also going to get his top 5 in basketball, both on the girls and boys side. It's coming up. Stay with us on CVTV.